War. War games. War games with propaganda, guns, zombies, and other things. This is Call of Duty Thrak Ops. Reporting for duty. Greetings, everybody. It's another episode of Call of Duty Thrak Ops. Hi, I'm Thrak. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing better than me. Sorry if that cough fucked up your ears. I was just making sure you're awake, okay? Because it's episode 15, everybody. Can you believe I've done 15 of these goddamn things? But we got to keep pressing on. And the 15th one is... it's the end of the... I guess we'd call it the Jetpack trilogy, with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and with the end of a trilogy, I needed somebody to talk about this game with, because there's definitely some things to talk about, and so I figured why not get this lovely man, the former / potential returning co-host of a novel console. He also buys and sells games on his whatnot auction house called Consoles and Stuff, and he's guested on 3DO quite a few times, and he's a good pal of mine, and he's kind of the reason I broke into this weird gaming podcast sphere I exist under. So you have to blame him for all this stuff. But it's my good pal Chris Dominguez. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, bud. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. We spent a long time getting this figured out, and I'm not just talking about you fucking with your voice settings for like an hour.
Right. That was quite interesting. Almost as interesting as the fact that I just paid you for a bunch of games that you sent me this week.
I did, yes.
I just paid you, like, right now on the show while we're recording this shit. I just sent you money. Live. I forgot to tell you that I was going to do that. So there you go. You just got paid.
Well, it doesn't completely clear my credit card debt, but it puts a nice big hole in it. So thank you, sir.
Good. Hey, if you have more stuff you want to get rid of, always let me know.
As of right now, I'm okay. So yeah,
okay.
But yeah, I'll make sure to put those links in the show description. So for any of you who might be wanting to sell some of your old video games, but you're cautious about sending them to a shitty reseller, you can send them to a less shitty reseller, and our boy Chris right here.
You know what makes me less shitty?
What's that?
That I put all of the games starting at $1 and whatnot. I don't chase the trend thing. Like, I put it $1, figure it out yourself.
That is true. Yeah, he's pretty good. He does his. You're doing your shows about once a month now.
I'm trying to do them at least bi-weekly.
Okay, so about twice a month,
as of recording this, it's Monday. So in 2 days, I have another one on Wednesday because I got crazy month happening and I need to move stuff so I can have money to buy more stuff. So
yeah, that'll be dated by the time this comes out, so you missed it. But don't worry. Yeah. I'll put his whatnot link in the description so you can go subscribe, so you will find out when his next shows are. But enough of this, buying and selling shit. We got to talk about Call of Duty. So Chris, I figure I'll go ahead and ask you, since this is your first time on the program, and probably the only time. I don't want recurring guests unless it's like for weird shit. So what is your past experience with the Call of Duty franchise?
I remember back in high school, I think the first one, probably the one and second one. The one and two had come out. Finest Hour and Call of Duty 2 had come out on PS2, and I remember playing the first one and hating it. And then playing the second one and being like, "Oh, this is good." Then I think 3 came out for 360. I didn't have a 360, so I didn't play it. I don't think I played anything until Modern Warfare 2. And then I went back and played, Modern Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I played the Black Ops up to 3. Of course, Modern Warfare 3, which was great. After that, I took a huge break from Call of Duty because it was the same. It felt like the same game every year. And I came back for World War II like 2 years after it had come out and absolutely loved it. And I've always was interested about this game that we're covering today because it feels like something that Activision is afraid to commit to, and I feel like for a small amount of people, it would be like the perfect type of shooter, and that small amount of people would probably be just me. Because I have some opinions about this game. I think Activision is just a bunch of cowards.
Oh, of course. They're a big corporation, so they want to play it safe. And I do think it's funny because on your show many years ago now, we were playing through the Halo games together, co-oping them. I don't know.
Those games fucking suck. They're so bad.
Did
They're
any
all
of those
terrible.
episodes come out?
I think. So here's the thing. I think it happened like what happened with the Gears games. I think we went to record an episode, and instead of talking about the game, we ended up talking about other stuff, and then sporadically being like, "Oh, but coming back to Gears, it's awesome." And then we went on another tangent.
Yeah.
Except
But
Halo, was like, "Fucking Halo sucks," and then we started talking about something. else.
So it's funny you chose this one because my kind of going into this game was, it's very much trying to be like Halo and maybe even a bit of Titanfall in there because the Infinity Ward guys left and made Titanfall. Well, they got fired and made Titanfall. So it felt like it was trying to just kind of cop from that, and I guess this game's reputation is not very positive. Because this is coming after Ghosts. From Infinity Ward, and I did not really care for Ghosts. It just felt very like it was a new team that just didn't really know what they wanted to do, like what their plan was for like the next iteration of the series. And despite having a pretty solid cliffhanger of an ending, the rest of the game just felt kind of off. And this was an era, this mid-2010s, like PS4, Xbox One era, feels like the era where Call of Duty just becomes an institution where like it comes out every year and it's always the best-selling game of the year and people seem to rate it very high, but a lot of people you don't know a lot of people who play it, it like weirdly lives under the radar despite somehow being the biggest launch every year. And people were saying like, oh, these games are playing it safe, but really in these last handful of games I've been playing, well, basically since Ghosts, none of these really feel like they're playing it safe. They're all trying to find that next evolution in the series because once you get off of Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, kind of peaks for both Infinity Ward and Treyarch, it feels like they're just trying to chase that success with sort of, intermittent results. And then you have Sledgehammer being Sledgehammer, kind of finding their own path.
I know nothing about Ghosts. I know that Ghost was a character in one of the Modern Warfares.
He's not in that game. Ghosts refers to its own, like, there's a whole, like, militia group called the Ghosts, which are trying to fight back against this, like, evil South American coalition. Go listen to my episode, and you can get all the details on it if you like.
Okay. Because honestly, from what I remember, I haven't played it. I've obviously tested 1 million copies of Ghost, and I haven't gotten past the first stage. From what I remember when it came out was like, oh, this is a game featuring Ghost. And I'm like, why the fuck would you make a game about Ghost? He was quiet the entire time he was on screen in the Modern Warfare games, and then, he gets capped.
He's only in Modern Warfare 2. He's only in 2.
Right? And why would you make a game
capped
about
by
that
Shepard.
guy?
People just seem to really latch on. I think they just liked the skull bandana, like half mask thing he wore. People would wear that shit during COVID to look cool.
So,
oh god, yeah. But yeah, Infinite Warfare. It released November the 4th, 2016, for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC. of course developed by Infinity Ward. But the announcement of this game was met with controversy, as this trailer still stands as one of the most disliked videos on YouTube. I think it's like in the top 25 most disliked videos of all time. And just people were not liking the sci-fi move that Call of Duty was making at the time. Infinity Ward was trying to push back, saying, well, people didn't really like Black Ops 2 at first, but people grew to love that game. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but Black Ops 2 was, coming off of a really beloved game in Black Ops 1, probably my favorite in the series up to this point. And Black Ops 2 is able to hold its own by being a sequel, but also being different. And this game feels like it's just further going into this era that people didn't want, I guess. But I can understand why Activision were pushing the sci-fi stuff with Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 before it, because, we did Modern Warfare, right? It's modern, like near future, right? And then Black Ops 2 goes into the slightly distant future at the time of 2025, which is funny because now that's the past. So they were probably thinking that, sci-fi is probably just the way to go with the series. Let's keep moving it forward and seeing the success of things like Titanfall. And I mean, Halo was starting to stagnate in popularity by this point. But people have always liked sci-fi. So I could see why they wanted to go in this direction, even if people ended up not really appreciating it. But I never played this one at the time. I think in 2016 I was not tapped into the gaming sphere at all. I was busy doing other things. But Chris, do you have any history with this game at the time?
No, not at all. This came out during the time where I don't care about Call of Duty. This is where I completely fell off. In fact, I think I played this. Did World War II come out before this?
World War II is the one right after this.
Okay, then I was completely out of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But a year or two ago, I got a massive lot of Xbox 360 games, and there were like 4 copies of this game in it. And it
must have been Xbox One, because this one did not get a 360 port. Black Ops 3 was the last.
Maybe Xbox One, yeah.
Call of Duty.
It was. I had a bunch of copies of it.
It's one of the Xboxes. Yeah.
Or was it PlayStation? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyways, I replayed the first stage like 4 times, and I was like, "Holy shit! I want to continue this game. This looks amazing." I don't know why I didn't keep a copy, because I had a bunch of them. And yeah, it's great. Like I have my gripes. I can't wait till we get to it, but it's a. I wish Activision would commit to this, and they have Call of Duty. They should maybe make a separate series.
Maybe
I don't know.
Well,
we'll get to it later.
Yeah. At this point, it's clear that Activision are really trying to find the next sort of hit game in the series. They're selling well, but at the same time, they're not hitting the numbers that Black Ops and Modern Warfare were. And I think Infinity Ward didn't just want to do Modern Warfare again. They were trying to find their next phase, I think, because, the archetypes of, the early Infinity Ward success, they were gone. Right. So it's like, let's not live in their shadow. Let's try to do something a little bit different. And you see people these days trying to clamor for Call of Duty to do new things, especially with the announcement of the most recent Call of Duty not that long ago, which was Modern Warfare 4, and people going, "Oh, we're doing this again." I'll talk about that when we get to that point. But I think it just comes down to people just not really knowing what they want. Because I know at this time there were people who were clamoring for them to return to Modern Warfare, but they didn't want it. They wanted to do something new, and then they did, and then they're like, "Oh, you should do new shit again." But this game, before we get deep into the plot, it did surprise me. It was one that when I was looking at the list of the games, I was very curious to how this one was going to play out, because it feels like this is the one. This feels like Infinity Ward really expecting this game to hit. And I give them a lot of credit for committing to this one the way they do. Because Ghosts, it flirts with the sci-fi stuff, but it doesn't really it doesn't commit to it really. And the bits that it does do are almost kind of silly. Like, when you're floating in space shooting astronauts with a gun, and you're like, does this even make any sense? It feels like it's half-assing that, but this is not half-assing it at all. Like, I was not expecting this game to be a weird mixture of Halo and Titanfall, but also like some Star Wars influence in there, and also like Mass Effect to a degree, with some of the kind of surprisingly semi-open nature of this game. It just feels like they're like Infinity Ward are like, no, we're going full sci-fi. We're just gonna fucking do it, and I respect them for doing it, even though it didn't hit at the time. And yeah, the reputation of this game seems to live in a weird spot where some people are wanting to defend it, and some people are like, that game was kind of shit at the time. Blah blah blah, right? So yeah, I was fairly surprised. But some controversy around this on release was at the same time. This is when Activision did the remaster of the original Modern Warfare Remastered, and that was like kind of put with this game to, I think, generate some hype, because people were not really excited for this, so they're like, oh, if we shove the remaster of Call of Duty 4 that everybody loves with it, that'll help, right? I mean, and it did, but then the issue was the only way you could play that remaster initially was pre-ordering like the deluxe version of Infinite Warfare to get it, which people were like, oh, you mean I can't just buy this like separately? What the fuck? And that became a whole thing. Eventually they made it separate so you can go play it, and I did. It's a fun remaster. But yeah, that was an issue at the time, but we're all past that now. I'd like to say so yeah, an interesting game that I think will be a very interesting discussion. So we're going to take a teeny little bit of a break, and then we will get started with the plot. So this game, it takes place in a future where Earth's resources have been nearly depleted, forcing governments and businesses to seek them elsewhere within the solar system. And as space colonialization grows, the nations of the world form something called the United Nations Space Alliance, or UNSA, or UNSA, if you want to get potentially problematic with it, to govern space travel, commerce, and trade. The Solar Associated Treaty Organization, or SATO, is the peacekeeping body of the UNSA. And then we start with our first level, which is called Rising Threat, where we are part of a 3-man team on the moon of Europa to investigate lost communications with the team there. You discover that the Settlement Defense Front, or the SDF, has invaded and taken out that team that was on Europa. This is the main villain faction in the game, which is a separatist movement of fascist humans looking to conquer the solar system. They didn't go aliens. Like, that's one thing
They should have gone aliens. They should have fucking gone aliens.
I mean, there are aliens in Ghosts, but it's only in, like, their sort of replacement for zombies. They're like, oh, it's an alien invasion instead. Because that's one thing I find interesting about this game, this game with the solar system stuff, is that, yeah, they don't go into, like, deep space. They don't venture on beyond the Kuiper Belt. Like, we get Pluto, but nothing beyond that. It kind of stays within the planets and the moons that we're all familiar with, which I think was, to prevent, like, aliens and other weird shit, because I think they knew that if they went there, I think everyone would have been like, what the fuck are you doing? Even though it kind of would have been amazing in hindsight, but I could see why they're like, maybe we shouldn't go there just yet.
Activision would have pulled the plug and be like, yes, I'll allow you to have aliens, but they're going to be bacteria. Like something completely inoffensive that doesn't affect anything, doesn't hurt whatever. It's just bacteria.
Fighting a giant amoeba.
Not even. It's like, oh, we discovered life in another planet, and it's some fucking sort of penicillin that cures whatever the fuck, and they're fighting over it. It's like something fucking stupid like that. God.
Yeah, that would have been funny, but they did not go there. No. But yes, you of course, once you catch up to the SDF, you start fighting them, but at the end you get caught, and then the whole team, including yourself, gets murdered by the head of the faction, a man named Salen Koch. I hope I'm saying that right. Who is played by Kit Harington of Jon Snow fame.
Hated it. Oh my God, I hated it.
Now,
holy shit.
I got to be honest, at first I did not recognize him because I have not watched a single second of Game of Thrones. I mean, this was 2016, so it was like the hot shit at the time. So it makes sense to bring in somebody like him for the main antagonist, especially when, Advanced Warfare brought in, like, say, Kevin Spacey, and that seemed to go over well at the time. So it just kind of made sense to, like, bring in somebody like him. And yeah, it's an interesting inclusion. Go off, Chris. Go off on your Jon Snow shit.
I like Kit Harington, right? He hasn't done anything stupid to piss me off like a bunch of other fuck-ass actors that are out there, right? I feel like they squandered him. Like, his character was such a nothing character. He was like a fucking mustache twirling bad guy of the week. He was completely. This dude is a great actor, and they just bring him in to throw a monologue. We will destroy Earth and conquer your planet and kill everybody and level your city. Like, what are you doing? You have this amazing actor, and you're putting them in that role. It just felt. And then comparing him to everybody else, all the other characters, like all of the other characters that you interact with in your team, right?
Yeah.
They all have great personalities. They're excellent characters. And then you have an amazing, talented actor, and you squander him like that.
Yeah. And it hurts because, like Kevin Spacey in Advanced Warfare, I thought did a pretty good job with what he was doing. Like, he understood the assignment. He hammed it up. But and really the peak villain in the entire Call of Duty series, I think most people would agree with me, is Menendez from Black Ops 2. Like, that dude is fucking incredible. He is such an interesting character. You develop some bit of sympathy with him. But he's,
I really sympathized with Menendez when Matt Shadows and Sinister Gates were bullying him into playing the song at the end of Black Ops, and he was like standing there like a dork, just like riffing really hard.
Yeah, but that mission where you go on that like crazy rage with the shotgun because you're just trying to defend your sister, like they do a good job of humanizing a villain. But I feel like they just don't want to do that ever again because, Call of Duty has become so big, and it's like just trying to be almost like least common denominator that I think they would be afraid to catch flack for people saying, oh, why are you making this like sympathetic villain? Because even like Shepard, to a degree, in Modern Warfare 2, they try to give like some reasoning for why he did what he did, not necessarily justification, but like, you try to get some of his side of, why he's, being the turncoat and everything. It could have been done a lot better, but there was like an attempt,
Right. I for some reason I was confusing Shepard with Price.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah, Price has like this whole scene
Price
at
has
the
some.
end where
He has some gray
spree,
area moments.
but,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're correct. Yeah, this Koch guy, he doesn't really do much.
No.
He's just there. He's just there to be, the bad guy. Like
So you kind of see him like 5 times. You see him at the beginning, a little bit after that,
and then he disappears for a good chunk of the game.
Right, and then he's like, "We're going to destroy the city after whatever the guns are taken offline. The guns go offline, and then you meet him in person, and that's it."
Yeah, well, you do like the fake out with him, and then the real one later. Again, it's all very weird, but I mean,
wasted potential, dude. Wasted potential.
I would agree. But this introduction, I think, is probably the best he is the entire game. You know, like the way he like gets right up in your face and is, you know, very. You can tell he's very, you know, diabolical and sociopathic with the way he murders the team. You know, it's a good introduction to his character, but unfortunately, he doesn't get super fleshed out. But this segues into the next main mission called Black Sky. And this is where something I noticed the game was trying to do. I don't know if you noticed it, Chris, is that it's trying to blend like the cutscenes and the in-game action into a way where it feels seamless. Think God of War 2018, but 2018 is doing everything in engine, right?
You know,
whereas this game, you can clearly see where this is the cutscene and then this is the in-game. They try to have them connected, but to me it was just so obvious.
I'm guessing you played it on Xbox, right?
Yeah, I play on Series.
I played it on the Steam Deck.
Okay.
I had an issue. I'm guessing it's just that it's not optimized for Steam Deck, where cutscenes would repeat themselves. So you would be watching a cutscene that was supposed to go into gameplay, and then the cutscene would start again, and then it would go into gameplay. I also had an issue where, you know, it was the cutscene and it was supposed to seamlessly transition into gameplay, and there would be just like a hard cut of loading, and then it would go into gameplay. So, and you would notice the graphical difference between both, because I played it on handheld. I did play it a little bit on the TV plugged into the Steam Deck dock, and it was a little bit jarring, but if you go into it with the mentality of it's a Call of Duty campaign for fun and you're not taking the story serious and being like all deep into it, it really doesn't bother you. It didn't bother me, like having to rewatch the cutscenes again or just skip them outright. It was fine. And a lot of times what I really notice that is when you're shooting out in your ship to go do the space missions.
Yeah, the warp speed, yeah.
No, what is it, Jackal.
The flying missions.
Yeah,
okay.
So when you're like, engage thrusters and launch in 3, 2, 1, whatever. Once it shoots out, then it goes from gameplay straight into a cutscene, and then after that, it would go into like a hard loading screen. So you could really tell the difference there, but honestly, it didn't bother me. So.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like, as you said, the game just isn't super well optimized for Steam Deck. And also it feels like 2016 companies, I mean, they were starting to prioritize the PC ports at that time, but they still had their issues. But it was not like, say, early 2010s, where some of those early like Steam PC ports are just like really bad. You know, they were starting to figure them out. But yeah, like those transitions again between cutscene and gameplay, trying to make it all smooth, I appreciate it, but I feel like it would have worked if it was done in engine. I mean, there's a lot of moments in this game where like in-engine stuff is happening, where you're not controlling your character, and you're just like looking at everybody talking to each other. So they could have figured it out if they wanted to. I don't know. It's not like they have tons. It's not like they have tons of money.
Skipping ahead to the end of the game, and I'm not going to get into any details. That last closing scene after you're done with gameplay and all the stuff is happening right before the end, that was all an engine, and it was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like like the tech in all of these games I find very impressive. Like they're all still running on the IW engine, which was... Infinity Ward took like the id Tech engine and sort of used that to kind of like make their own engine, which has become like the standard since I think like Modern Warfare 2. No, it was Modern Warfare 1, because World at War was when Treyarch finally was given the IW engine to do their thing with.
Damn, World at War, that game was good.
Oh, it was a very good one for sure.
Fuck, am I gonna play all the Call of Duty games now because of you?
I mean, that's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
I just wanted to play this one, dude. I didn't commit to the entire series, even if it's just for my own enjoyment.
Yeah. You weren't as fucking sicko like me. But anyways, So in this scene in Black Sky, we were playing as Lieutenant Nick Reyes, who's our main character through the rest of the game. Who he's hearing about what's going on in Europa, and he's concerned about everything that's going on. People assure him it's nothing serious because we're here to celebrate Fleet Week. Down here on the planet of Coruscant. No, sorry, we're in Geneva. But didn't it look like fucking Coruscant at the end of like Return of the Jedi when they're like the Death Star is dead, yeah, fireworks going off and everything. And Reyes is like, I don't know, man. I feel like they might be trying to launch a surprise attack or something. I don't know. And they're like, oh, it's fine. We're gonna celebrate. Let me go get the weed. We'll have we'll have a good time. But he was actually right, because the SDF does launch a surprise attack where all those defense cannons, they get hacked and they start using them against you. You successfully fend off the invasion, but in all of this, there's, dozens upon dozens of casualties, one of which is the admiral of the warship Retribution. So because of this, your character now becomes the captain of the ship, which is where our ship becomes the major hub in between missions, which has been a standard for the series in the last couple games, where we just kind of hang out in this hub when we're in between missions. But here I think it's done better, which I'll talk about in just a second. You don't like the hub?
I don't like it. I'm used to a certain type of Call of Duty. On the last one that, like I said, that I played was World War II, and it's just a straight shot all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I didn't like the hub. I didn't like going into the armory and picking your loadout, even though you just go with the loadout that they have for you. I didn't like any of that. And I also kind of don't like Reyes.
Yeah, he's just kind of whatever.
It's not even that. It's like he doesn't fit into the narrative and the people around him. And honestly, he kind of looks like Greg Bovino, so I kind of want to slap the shit out of him just for existing.
I see it now.
right. Like, who does this guy remind me of? I'm like, oh shit, it's a Nazi.
Might be saying the quiet part out loud with some of these later games.
So. I don't know if it felt the same way to you, but it's kind of like in RPGs where you're playing as the main character, and the main character kind of feels like out of place with everything that's going on around him and the world.
Where they're the voiceless, nameless avatar that you're supposed to insert yourself into.
Right, and I'm not saying his personality is wrong. It's the way he looks. He doesn't really... He just looks like another grunt to me. He doesn't look like commanding officer.
Yeah, he comes off a bit underwritten.
Right. That is a definite complaint. I mean, like, compared to like all the other personalities that you have, like Omar and Ethan. Fucking Ethan.
Oh, Ethan. We'll get to him in a bit.
Gangster and Salter, like all the other characters are great, and he's just like a character.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, it's a shame because in Advanced Warfare, like, we get like frickin' Troy Baker as our main character, but they do a lot with his character. Like I was genuinely impressed by the writing of Advanced Warfare, but that's being done by a different studio. But this hub, in comparison to the last couple games, I think this hub is handled a lot better, just because it's a more fleshed out area. Because in Black Ops 3, it felt like just a lot of confined areas where it's like, oh, here you can go, like, buy your upgrades, because like we're treating the campaign as like a offshoot of the multiplayer, so go and like buy your perks and all this other stuff, and you'll have like long calm conversations with characters in between missions, that are supposed to make me feel something, but I really don't. But here it's like, yeah, you can look around, you can look at his computer, you can kind of observe the Admiral's headquarters, which are now yours, and he's kind of like weird about it. But you see like everybody kind of doing their thing. You can go look at all of your, weapons and do the loadout thing, which is what they've been doing since Black Ops 2. was the first game that let you, switch your loadout in between missions for what kind of suited you. They'd always say, like, here's what's recommended, but if you want to, fuck with it, you can, which I like because it gives it a little bit of replayability. Like, if you want to go in and, say, like, do an all-shotgun run, you have the ability to do that. And one thing I like in this game is how you get the new weapons. It's a very kind of sci-fi thing, where as you're playing through the game, you'll pick up the weapons, and it'll just, like, scan it. And be like, all right, we just have this in our database now. We can replicate it with like a 3D printer or whatever. I'm assuming that's what they're using. And just
they did say that it was being printed, so
yeah, and just
I'm guessing it's got to.
Yeah, like I think this game handles a lot of those little details right, which in a sci-fi game, that's what you need to do. You need to hit those little things that people will notice to sort of give it that, not realism, but it gives it sort of a believability with a consistent. Like world building type feel.
Like I said, I didn't like it. I didn't like the option or the freedom. You know that I hate nonsense, pseudo open world bullshit. I hate it.
Yeah.
But in the world and the context and the story, it makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not gonna say it doesn't make sense because it does make sense.
Yeah, I will say,
and it's all done well. It's just that personally, for me, I don't care for it.
No,
I don't want it.
No, I agree. I prefer the more level-based, where you do the level, and it's like, good job, kid, now go to the next level. I do prefer that, because I think Call of Duty and even a lot of other shooters or more linear games, when they restrict the player more in that way, to where it's like, here's the straight line, go do the thing, okay, cool, here's another straight line. It allows a more catered experience, I think. But again, this is them trying to see, what works and what doesn't. But real quick, we'll get to the next mission after this. Is called Operation Port Armor, where we have to defend a fuel depot on the moon. It's the first of many missions that sees us piloting the hover jet called the Jackal to fight off various attackers.
God, so good.
And I do appreciate the added variety that the game gives us with these flying missions, because there are plenty of them after this. And yeah, we've been piloting vehicles in Call of Duty forever. With tanks in the early games, and even helicopters and hover jets by Black Ops 2. But this game really goes for it with the hoverjet stuff, and I know you're a big fan of space shooters, Chris. So what did you think about the Jackal?
Honestly, I think that if they tweak it a little bit, they could have a great framework for a series, for a completely new series of just space shooters.
What do you think about it being in first person?
It was done very well. What's up?
What do you think about it being in first person?
Loved it. It was great. It didn't get confusing. There were there was just like one mission where I think you could see the planet, a bunch of empty space, and then you can see like an armada.
Yes.
That got a little weird because I got stuck staring into empty space for a long time, a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I could tell where the enemies were. I could, maneuver. I could shoot. I could chase people down. I could destroy the enemy frigates or whatever they were. I feel like it was done very, very well. Is this the first time they've done something like this?
No, there was a hover jet in Black Ops 2. I remember it's near the end of the game when you're in LA. You get to like a helicopter, the pilot dies, and you're like, I'm just going to climb into it. And they're like, what the fuck? And then you get in and do it. And it's the same kind of thing where you're in a jet, but with it being, hover base as opposed to directly flying, you have more control over, where your character moves. And it's clear in this game, they're building the flying missions around that to where you're in these small little arenas kind of doing the thing. You can switch to like direct flight here and there, but they're built primarily for the hover ability.
To be honest, I didn't know you could hover until like that's what the final mission.
That's what. To be fair, that is what you're doing mostly. Is you can just like come to a complete stop and just sort of look around. Like they're treating.
I did not do that
because you can do that, and when you use the hover, it treats the flying missions like boots on the ground style gunplay, like in a weird way. Which gives it kind of a fresh take, because not a lot of flying games really do that. And yeah, and
I am
going to
make a
fun,
comparison.
It was fun, but a bit repetitive.
Have you played Star Wars Squadrons?
No, that's the new one, right? Or the latest one? 2018.
The last shooter, space shooter,
yeah,
Star Wars, the last ship shooter.
I've been meaning to, and I haven't.
It is the exact same type of gameplay. The only thing that differs is that in Squadrons you can divert power to guns, speed, or shields. But it is the exact same thing. If you want to stop and look around and shoot, you can do that.
They probably took inspiration from this, you'd think.
Maybe it's different studios, but maybe.
I mean, people take inspiration from everything. Who made? Yeah, I don't even know. Honestly, who made Squadrons.
Squadrons was EA, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I was trying to remember who developed it, because I know they published it.
But
it was Motive. It was Motive. Yeah, the guys who did the Dead Space remake.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, Squadrons is pretty good, but you're not gonna get. The only thing I can compare to is Star Fox. You're not going to get. You're moving constantly. You're shooting constantly.
Yeah, it's not a rail.
You have to outmaneuver. You cannot stop and pick your target.
Or even in comparison to, say, like with Star Wars, like Rogue Squadron. Like, it's not that either. But Rogue Squadron or even Star Fox is a complete flying game, right? So the gameplay is built around that. Whereas this, it just feels like, oh, here's like the other part of the game to give you something fresh, spaceship battles. And again, I think how they handle it is done fairly well. Like, it's not super in-depth. There's not a lot of like crazy mission variety. It's usually just, blow up these guys. Now blow up these guys. Now maybe blow up these guys, But it helps break up the standard, boots on the ground style gunplay.
What I like about the ship parts, apart from being, a space flight simulator sicko, I like that you can make it as easy or as hard as you want to. If you want to stop and shoot at everything, you're more than welcome to. If you actually want to fly around and cut your teeth in some dogfights, you can. The game won't penalize you for doing it either way.
Exactly.
And the spaceflight missions have aces, where they're like these basically super soldiers in ships that you can shoot down. They're harder than the regular enemies. And I thought that those dogfights got pretty fun pretty quick.
Yeah. Especially when those are the ones who you can use, like, to deflect the incoming homing missiles. You can shoot off a bunch of flares, right? And I had to adjust my fingers on the controller so I could press it at any fucking given time. But then when you're trying to do the same with them, they'll shoot off the flares as well.
Yeah.
So
you can't shoot them with missiles. You have to shoot them down actually. It forces
you. Yeah, it forces you to be on your toes. And I like that when you're aiming your normal your guns or cannons, it's the spot on the screen it wants you to aim at is leading, so you can actually so it'll hit them better, which is a very clever thing as well. Again, I think weirdly enough, it is the most consistently solid part of the game. Really, because
like I said, they have a very good skeleton for what could become a very good game.
Call of Duty aerial warfare.
That would
be kind of neat, yeah, but I don't think they're interested in that, unfortunately.
No. Cowards.
They are. But after this mission is sort of where the game sets up being semi-open. So this is where the Mass Effect comparison comes in, because after this mission is when everyone's like, oh, we have, the SDF is doing all this kind of dumb shit all over the solar system, so we have to go attack it, and choose where the next mission's going to go. And so you have these various missions. You have the Jackal missions, right? Like Safe Harbor, Pure Threat, Grave Robber, but then you also have ship assault missions like Decon, Deep Execute, where you basically storm onto various ships to you sneak on board to blow it up from within. Though sometimes they'll favor stealth. There's one where you disguise yourself as somebody else, as an SDF person, and you have to try not to get too close to somebody or else you'll get caught.
That one was great.
That reminds me a lot of the original Medal of Honor on PlayStation 1, because that game is surprisingly a lot more stealthy and disguise heavy than people realize, because there's missions in that where you disguise yourself as a Nazi soldier and you have to show your ID to people. But if it's like a ranking captain, he'll recognize you immediately, that kind of thing. So they play with that a little bit. And then there's, times when you're, kind of floating in space with a sniper rifle shooting people, and you have your grapple and you're shooting your grapple gun at space debris to get closer.
That's so much fun.
Which that feels like a response to Ghosts, because there are moments in Ghosts where you're fighting astronauts in space and you're just kind of lazily floating up and down and trying to maneuver. And it feels like they didn't quite get like maneuvering a soldier in the middle of space, in Ghosts. Here it feels much better. And it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's neat. I feel like all these are very fun to play. And allowing for this sort of non-linearity within it, makes it, again, it gives it a fresh edge. And literally just having the Mass Effect style map in the center where you can go and there's like, you can land on this planet or you can go do this, that kind of thing. That gave me a good chuckle because, also it just reminds me of Mass Effect and goddamn, our beautiful boy, what happened to him?
It's something that you didn't say is that there is an upside to doing these side missions. You get new upgrades for your ship. You get new upgrades for your on-foot missions.
That is true.
Faster running, better armor, better guns, whatever.
Oh yeah. You get you get all the perks for doing them for sure.
Yeah. So it's worth doing them, and they're short. They're like maybe 5 to 10 minutes each.
Yeah,
and they're fun, pure action the entire time. I don't know if this was a main story mission or a side mission. I think it was a side mission where you're infiltrating into a ship after you cause the alarm to go off, and you have, I think it's your ship, what's the ship called? The Retribution?
The Retribution, yes.
You have the Retribution fighting another destroyer at the same time as you and your team are trying to get into the ship that's being shot at, and you have a bunch of soldiers just coming out of airlocks shooting at you, and you have a sniper rifle and you're shooting them all down.
I believe,
it
believe
gets
that
crazy.
I think that's Phoenix, but I think that is one of the ship assault missions, and they really. Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, and it also it reminded me a little bit like with the Star Wars stuff. Like it reminded me a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront, but like the older ones where you would have the space ship battles, and then you'd fly into the enemy's ship and try to like blow up them from within. Like it had a little bit of that flavor too.
And especially that mission, because after you're doing that, you're getting into a ship that's being bombarded. You have to steal like a prototype spaceship, a prototype Jackal, and go out and fucking fight all the other enemy
that
Jackals.
Was awesome.
It's great.
Oh, that was
so
great.
Good.
Absolutely. In a way, it almost hurts the main mission a little bit because, like when I was doing them, I would just do all the side missions I was given to clear them out, and then go do the main mission.
Oh, me too.
And I mean, there's no real recommended way to pace them out, I don't think. And if I remember with Black Ops 2, where you had those weird side missions, after a certain point, they disappear. So it's like you have to kind of do them right when you get them. So I imagine this game is kind of similar in that ways. But we won't go into detail with all the side missions and everything that happens in them. But I'll just say that they're really fun. If you go and play this game, do not skip the side missions.
They're worth doing. They're stupid fun, and they give you perks that are just nice to have.
Exactly, because without them, the main campaign is only 7 missions, and you're just kind of in and out. It's a very, very short game outside of it.
It's that short.
Yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, only 7, and we've already talked about 3 of them.
Damn.
So it is padding a little bit as well, but it's good padding.
I mean, and also you find stuff during those missions that adds to the main story. Like you might find intel that might help. From what I read,
there's bits. Yeah,
you might find intel that might help you find like something extra to do, or an extra different way to do a mission.
There's bits of that, but I think this is the first game to like completely get rid of the collectibles within the levels. Like, in the older CODs, you'd find those little pieces of intel kind of spread throughout, and then the number would come up, replay the levels. I think this one, I don't recall seeing like anything that you could just grab in the middle.
No.
I mean, like, maybe some like lore important stuff here and there, but outside of that, not your basic intel, which was a little surprising. But we'll hop into the next main mission called Operation Burn Water, where we travel to the moon Titan to destroy a major fuel source for the SDF. And this is where we get to see Ethan, or his full name, Enhanced Tactical Humanoid Third Revision. This is where he really comes into play. He was introduced slightly before, but this is sort of like his kind of breakout mission. Would you agree?
The boy. I fucking love Ethan.
All right, go off on Ethan.
Oh, man. He's a robot. It's a fucking robot. And he is funny. He is serious. He is emotional. He is everything that you want in a character, but a robot. And there was a mission later on where they get one of the giant armored tank robots, right? And someone's like, Titans, "Oh, are these things safe?" Yeah, basically a Titan from Titanfall. And one of the soldiers like, "Oh, is this thing safe?" And Ethan's like, "No, they randomly attack soldiers, and nobody knows what provocates it." And the soldier's like, "Are you serious?" And Ethan's like, "No." He's funny. Like, he's great.
Oh,
he's fucking funny.
Yeah, because there's that like tension in the gang. Because I mean, it feels very much like in real life, if we got to this point, like there would be these sort of sentient robots running around, and like, you know, you have
fucking clankers.
Yeah, clankers, and you have like Omar like not really liking him at all. And it doesn't help that you're fighting robots all throughout this game, which Black Ops 3 had a lot of that as well. But I think Black Ops 3, I think it handles the robots better, because here it just feels like it's just another enemy to fight. You know, because there are moments in Black Ops 3 where when you're fighting the robots, they're almost like zombies, the way they'll like chase after you and get kind of sentient. And here they don't really do that. They're just other human enemies.
There's that one mission where you infiltrate the ship or the facility, and everybody's dead because the robots killed them all.
Yeah, that's
and they don't have guns; they just like charge at you. The entire mission.
Yeah, that's the next mission.
Okay.
Yeah. But here they're just kind of, for the most part, it's like in Gears 4, if you remember, when we were just shooting robots for a good chunk of that game. And it's like, this doesn't work.
4 hours.
It doesn't hit as well. Yeah. But for me, Ethan, he's the most memorable character of the game, with some really some good quips, and grows to be appreciated by everyone in the crew, you know, some of which are Anti-Clanker, as they should be, by the way. I still stand by my Anti-Clanker stance, where I'm like, you know, he might be okay, but I don't know. I don't trust some of these fuckers, you know?
Yeah. Omar hated him.
Hated him, yeah. Then he goes
bring him on.
Yeah. But speaking of the...
Omar also kind of hated Reyes, too.
Yeah, Omar comes off as, like a standoffish is the best way I could describe him.
Yeah. That joke about the Navy, only the Navy can make a ship that's designed to sink. That shit. That was great.
Oh yeah, so there's definitely some good stuff in there. But
it's a great game. It's very fun.
Oh yeah, but speaking of that spooky stuff, we get the next mission, which is called, I believe it's called Vesta 3. Is that one? Or no, or I think it's Dark Quarry. Yeah, it's Dark Quarry, where we go to Vesta 3, which is the asteroid where there's the whole mining operation that's going on.
Yes.
And then we got to fuck that shit up. And that's where the spooky robots come in. And when you're getting into the mining operation, what I like is, because you're so close to the sun, that you have to be deliberate with your movements, because otherwise you'll just burn up. You know, so, you know, those bits I thought were, again, handled really well. And we're trying to, you know, find survivors, and there are some, you know, we managed to get them out. But it's another solid mission, I'd say.
There are some segments in that mission where you're fighting the robots at the same time the asteroid is spinning faster.
Yes.
So the sun comes by faster. So you can bait the robots into standing in the sun and just dying that way.
Oh yeah.
That was a very, very good mission. I don't know, dude. Like, this is probably my favorite Call of Duty out of all of them. I think World War II has an amazing story. I think this one is the best one.
It is surprising how much you ended up liking this one, you know?
Dude, but after the first mission, I was like, Fuck Activision for not continuing this.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll see what they do next. But anyways, after that mission, this causes Operation Black Flag to commence. Not another Black Flag, which just recently came out. But this has us leading the assault on the flagship of Salin Koch, called, I think it's the Olympus Mons. You know, that's where we find out, like, because we're trying to find his ship basically throughout the whole galaxy. We're basically trying to chase him down because they just want to take over the solar system for just evil reasons, I guess. Like, there's no... Like, the only real backstory we get with the Settlement Defense Force is that they were part of everything that was going on, but they, you know, wanted to... Basically, they're the right-wing shitheads of space, basically. Or they wanted to be, like, the fascist takeover guys, and everyone's like, it's too early for that. We're not sure about that.
My money is going to pay SNAP benefits? No, we're overthrowing the government. No, fuck you guys.
I gotta pay for these clankers' health insurance? Fucking out of here, man.
Nope. We will kill everyone on Earth.
Basically. And so, and then that's why they're going fucking stupid, right? But that's when we find the Olympus Mons, and then, you know, we're able to, you know, sneak upon it and finally get to Koch, and he's trying to, you know, basically destroy Geneva like he was doing earlier. He didn't give up on that, you know, he still wants to do it. But we get on the ship as he's trying to self-destruct it. But of course you fight to the bridge, you kill him, and it stops the self-destruct. But then it takes the Olympus Mons and the Retribution to Mars, where they're planning to destroy the SDF orbital shipyard. Because that's where they're headquartered, is on Mars. You know, which I find weird that they would be headquartered so close to Earth. But this mission is where people are where I found this really funny. I don't know if you did, where by the end of the game everybody is just starting to die. You know, like Omar is the first one where, like, he sacrifices himself at the end because he's trying to get more people onto the ship, and he's like, "Nah, fuck it, leave me go, whatever." And then you do the dramatic thing, and then everybody's all sad and pissed about it. And then that's in their rage, in their fuel, brother.
Did you see Godzilla? What's it called? King of the Monsters. Yeah, the one before Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh,
where he fights King Ghidorah.
Yeah, with Ghidorah and Rodan in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like every 5 minutes, there's like a noble sacrifice. That's kind of like how this game starts doing at the end.
I remember coming out of that movie loving it, and then looking up reviews, and everybody was hating it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? What'd you expect?
I loved it. I fucking loved it and cared. And it's like, this guy died for no reason. This guy died for no reason. This guy died for no reason. And I'm like, fuck it. Two giant monsters beat the shit out of each other. That's all I care about.
Watch Final Wars if you want to see meaningless death every 2 seconds.
God, that movie sucks. It's so bad.
It's so intense, though. But yeah, this is when everybody, like, sets up for their noble sacrifice. And that's the Operation Bloodstorm. Operation Bloodstorm sounds like a game on, like, the original Xbox or something in, like, 2002.
Yeah, it sounds like a prequel to Bulletstorm.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, Operation. This is where we do the full assault on Mars, where the SDF are located. I like how this starts, where we're on our ship, and then we're just, like, blasting, you know, our cannons at the main ship and at Mars, you know, while
you're in the Olympus Mons.
Oh, that's right.
In the Olympus Mons, shooting everything down, trying to shoot the orbital whatever.
That's right. Yes, because you find out they're planning another invasion of Earth using a captured super weapon in order to do so. But, you know, it's the very, you know, climactic finale where, you know, everything's blowing up around them and everything. And just everybody's dying. Like, it feels like, again, every 2 seconds, you know, it's like, oh, I'm dying. Pff, now I'm dying. Pff. And I feel like it is a direct response to Ghosts, because Ghosts ends on a cliffhanger, like famously a cliffhanger. I'll go ahead and tell you. So your main character, like, the whole plot of Ghosts is, you know, you're trying to fight this, you know, South American force, and then one of them has like a turncoat from like your side, like he was like a friend of your dad's or whatever, and they're trying to say he got like brainwashed by them or whatever, right? You know, injected with evil Marxism or whatever. But like you're constantly fighting against them, but at the very end of that game, he captures you, like the turncoat captures you, and the game ends with you in a cage where he's planning to do like the exact same thing that was done to him, to like get him to be brainwashed on your side, you know, and he's giving this like very crazy evil speech. Yeah, it comes
brainwashing.
Yeah, basically, where it's brain like he's like, it's an MLM scheme. It's like it's my turn to brainwash you.
It's like Evan selling like fucking Monat and what's the other one? The one with the shakes, Herbalife.
Yeah, exactly. But it's done like shockingly well, because it basically gives you that feeling of like, oh, you're captured and you're fucked, and you're kind of, and it's kind of leading to like, oh, what's going to happen to you? Or, you know, it feels like it's setting itself up to do another game that is directly following this up. But of course, nobody liked Ghosts, so it never happened. And with Infinite Warfare, they're just like, you know what? We're expecting nobody to like this, so fuck it. Everybody dies, you know, in order to stop Koch, which you do. You know, of course, the mission gets completed and everything's hallelujah. But this part, I found this, again, unintentionally funny. I don't know about you, but when the credits are rolling, you get to play like these like little goodbye messages from everybody.
Yeah.
And they're all so hammy, so melodramatic, and so many of them are like, I feel nothing for this character. I feel absolutely nothing. The Ethan one I thought was funny because it's like, you're a robot. Like, what is
right?
What the fuck is this for?
Great.
You know,
that was great. Like, was he sentient the entire time? Did he have like a soul?
I can't say, but it kind of runs into that same issue that Ghosts has, though I think this has it less so, and that's, I think, Infinity Ward got so used in the Modern Warfare trilogy with having as pre-established characters that everybody knew and cared about, that they could do some of that more emotional stuff, like say in Modern Warfare 3 when Soap dies and then all the Price stuff, right? Like it's all handled well because they've established the characters, right? But with Ghosts, and even this game, it feels like they kind of try to speed run through that process of getting to know the characters, so that by the time we get to this, it's like, oh, you're supposed to feel something, but I'm like, but I really don't. Like, I don't feel bad for these people because I just don't really know who they are. But again, this game has good characters. It does a better job with it, but it almost just feels like they didn't have as much time to flesh it out. Because, yeah, like the campaign was surprisingly short. You know, like I think even doing the side missions, it was like maybe 9-10-ish hours for me max. You know?
Yeah. I am going to be honest. I care more about these characters in this game than I did about any of the ones in Modern Warfare.
That's fair.
I when Soap dies, I don't give a fuck. He was just a faceless protagonist that I played as. I don't care. It's like if they wouldn't have done what they did with Doom Guy and they would have just killed Doom Guy at the end of Doom 1 or Doom 2, I wouldn't have cared the same way as I didn't care about Soap dying.
Yeah.
Because isn't Soap a silent protagonist?
He is in the
for the most part.
Well, in the first Modern Warfare, that's who you're playing as. In 2 is when you actually get to like see and hear Soap. So Soap gets a character in Modern Warfare 2, but you are swapping between like playing him and then like, you know, he's just part of your squad. But also in 3, I don't think you play him at all in 3, but like they're trying to give him more of like an actual personality and a character and everything. So, you know, they wanted that death in 3 to hit. And I remember it was a little controversial at the time. Because, you know, us kids didn't know any better. It's not Dom dying in Gears of War 3. It doesn't hit like that, but nothing ever will.
Honestly, and like I think, again, I fucking loved Ethan. Ethan was great.
Ethan was the best character. Like, I liked Omar. And there were some other characters I thought were, like, solid. And there were some, like, decent character bits in there, but...
the American one with the Japanese name, who was not Japanese. I think his death was
I've met a
very
few
well
of those
done.
people in real life.
Kashima, was it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, when he died, that was a good death for a character to have to raise the stakes of what's happening.
Yeah.
Because you have his partner freaking out, and you're trying to keep him, and he's like, "Nope, I'm dead." that was good, and like I was trying to say, Ethan, when he dies, he gives you control to control him to go blow up.
Yeah, that part was. Yeah, I liked
whatever.
that part. That part was good.
That to me was a more meaningful death than Soap dying. I spent 3 games with Soap, and I do not give a fuck about that guy.
Chris is pro Clanker. We've now.
I'm pro Ethan because I killed all the other clankers that showed up. All of them got a bullet from me.
There's always one in there, I guess.
He's one of the good ones.
He's the token. But overall, the Infinite Warfare campaign, again, I liked it, but is it as good as the campaign in Black Ops 1? No, just fuck no. But this is clearly an era where they are de-emphasizing the campaign because more and more people, as they would recognize a little bit later, people are just buying these to play the multiplayer, right? That's why COD took off the way that it did, was because people were playing the multiplayer to death and were loving it. And even though there were plenty of us who played and enjoyed the campaigns and still do, in the mid 2010s, it was clear that the emphasis was on the multiplayer, which is a shame because I feel Infinite Warfare, if you give this campaign another, I think, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 extra hours, maybe cap it at 15 max, I think it would have benefited from that. Or we would have had a couple of extra missions, maybe some more pacing with everybody fucking dying instead of being in the last 2 missions. And just kind of allowing this world and these characters to breathe a little bit more, I think would have benefited it. It doesn't need to be an RPG length, but I don't know, a couple extra hours I don't think would have hurt it overall.
I think if they would have done maybe an hour or 2 while you're playing as Kit Harington, that I think his character would have benefited a lot from that.
Yeah, it's so crazy. They probably spent a lot of money to bring him in. And he barely does anything. There are times where he'll come on your little comm on your screen, being like, "What are you doing? How fucking dare you?" Yeah,
he does that twice,
2 times,
and that's it. That's it. Wasted fucking character. Did they wasted potential?
Were they paying by the hour?
I don't know. Maybe they're like, "Oh, we have him for 20 minutes. Let's get it done."
Yeah,
he does not have more than 10 minents of dialogue in the entire game.
They probably did it all in a day. I guarantee it was all in one day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I can't really. I've only played very few Call of Duties, and what I've played was mostly the campaign and some multiplayer. I don't like zombies in Call of Duty. I feel like it's way too sweaty. It is way too sweaty. No, I did get into Kill Confirmed. I think it was in Call of Duty 3, the Modern Warfare 3, the first time it came out.
Oh, where you had to collect the dog tags?
Yeah, I got into Kill Confirmed
that was in one of them. Yeah, those were really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I apart from Deathmatch, I really got into Kill Confirmed. I really liked that mode. And other than that, I didn't really play Call of Duty. If I had maybe 50 minutes, I would drop into a Deathmatch. That's it.
But what did you think of this game?
My main thing with the series is the campaign. And honestly, this is probably my favorite campaign, my favorite gameplay, everything about this. This is probably my favorite Call of Duty.
Because I was going to ask, what did you think of the jetpack and the wall running and
I think it was great.
Stuff?
I think it made sense for the environment that you're in.
Yes.
For if you're gonna say, oh, it's Modern Warfare or it's Black Ops, and you have a jetpack, no. That doesn't make sense.
No, like they tend to prefer the boots on the ground, which is none of this like acrobatic shit where it's like you're just doing the normal thing. But like with this, it makes sense. It can get a little futuristic crazy, but like it's not bad. Though I think this game has this game has the slide. Where you're running and then you hold the crouch. But I gotta be at this point in the series. We'll see how I feel later. I do not like the slide, but I think it's because it's early in when they're putting it in, and it always feels non-intuitive. It never feels intuitive to do, and I can never find a real good spot to use the slide in this current.
Did you play Bulletstorm?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
haven't
played that
the
game
slide
in
in Bulletstorm feels
years.
great.
I haven't played the game in a long time, though. It's been a very long time. In fact,
So
I may
the
have played it the year this game came out. That's how long ago it was.
The slide in Bulletstorm feels great because it serves a purpose. And this game is just like get to cover faster.
Yeah. Yeah, and it feels like it takes way too long of holding the crouch button to actually get the slide, and then the slide is so just kind of short and minimal. That's like, what am I even using it for?
And this Call of Duty does the same shit that all the other Call of Duty games do that piss me off, and that is the limited sprint, where you can run fast, but for a little time. Doesn't matter that you're in the future and you have a jetpack and shit. You can only run for a little bit.
It's better here than in some of the earlier games, but it is still very much a thing. Yeah. That's a little bit better.
My biggest gripe with this game is that it doesn't go enough into the future. I feel like it could go farther. Like the world, the ships, the fast travel that you can do because they can jump and do light speed. That all feels way more futuristic than what the game shooting and setting all feels like. Like if they would have gone heavier into like a Mass Effect style world, I feel like it would have been a lot better. Like if you're gonna go future, commit to future. Don't just go like maybe in 100 years this is where we're gonna be. Right? Like just fucking go. You have fucking Coruscant with the goddamn fucking ships on fleet day. You have fucking Star Destroyers in the sky. Commit to that fucking shit. That is my biggest gripe with this game, because everything else is fucking great.
Because one thing I find interesting about the game, at least from what I gather, is there's no specific time frame put on when this takes place. Because you look
that is true.
Because you look at Advanced Warfare's even Black Ops 3, they give you like, oh, the game takes place like Advanced Warfare is like, oh, we're in the 2040s and 2050s, right? Like they give you like years and shit, right, to really kind of think about it. Here, they don't give you that time frame at all. They might as well have done like the Mega Man 20XX at that point, right?
Right.
But they don't do that.
And like the thing is, like it to me personally, it feels a little bit jarring, right? Because you have these ships that are capable of faster than light travel. You have these incredible cities that you've built. You have these amazing weapons, in the I don't know, laser EMP weapons. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, there were the laser like futuristic
the electric
guns,
weapons.
and then there were the ballistic ones as well.
You have spaceships that go out into space and fight. You have like this incredible, artillery to protect your planet. And you're still exploring the limits of your solar system. Something somewhere, like they just decided to be like, nope, this is where we stop. I would have loved for them to like push it farther. Like, hey, we're out of the Milky Way. We're into Andromeda. There's no aliens. Fucking no aliens. But
none.
Humanity has expanded enough.
They don't even hint at aliens or other life.
Right? And like I don't care about aliens. Just make it all humans. Humans have settled all of Andromeda. And there's these little terrorist factions, or the SDF is in charge of whatever the fucking these areas, and they're broken off from the Milky Way, and they want to take over the Milky Way because they're space Nazis.
Like thinking about it, the SDF could have been, say, a force that was like, oh, their main issue was that, say, the UNSA wants to expand out into the solar system, and the SDF is like, no, we got to contain it within us because we don't know. Like, the main conflict could have been about exploring deep space, but I think this game, I feel like Infinity Ward were anticipating this being the beginning of a new series, and I think had they done an Infinite Warfare 2 and 3, they would have went out and explored further. I think they were just kind of testing the waters to see if they could get away with doing it to begin with, but judging the reaction this game got at the time, we'll never know.
I think they played it way too safe, and that's why they weren't able to keep it. If they would have committed to the whole thing and been like, this is Call of Duty's version of Mass Effect, would you have fucking played it?
Oh yeah,
I know a lot of people in our friend group would have played it if they would have said, this is Call of Duty's version of Mass Effect.
Because in 2016, Mass Effect hadn't been... I mean, there was all the Mass Effect 3 bullshit, but I think...
Andromeda came out and
was the next
died.
year. That was the next year, wasn't it? Like 17, 18?
Right, and if you were the people at Activision, you would have been like, oh shit, EA just fumbled massively with their biggest franchise. Why don't we capitalize with this, offshoot that we have? Let's...
Yeah, they could have. They could have easily went for it, but they, unfortunately, did not do that.
Personally, I wouldn't have played it at the time, but I would have played it now. Like after playing this game, I want another one because even though Reyes' story is over, I feel like there's a whole lot more that can be told about in this version.
Yeah.
of
They very much set up a whole new lore that they could have easily went and explored. But I think, as we see from what Infinity Ward does after this, they got cold feet, or maybe Activision got cold feet, and were like, hey, you need to go back and do what brought you to the dance in the first place. Because if you think about it, the next Infinity Ward Call of Duty is the Modern Warfare reboot in 2019.
Is it really?
That is the very next one. So it was clear.
Because what's after this? World War II and then Vanguard?
It was World War II, Black Ops 4, and then the Modern Warfare reboot. Those are the next three. Yeah, because every game has 3 years of dev time at this point with the three studios. Right. So it does take a while for them to, get the new game out the door. But yeah, at the time, people just didn't really vibe with this one. And I think it's just because... The people who were still playing Call of Duty were the ones who got in because of Black Ops and Modern Warfare, and that's what they liked. And they didn't want to see the series go off in these crazy directions, They
didn't market it to the right people.
No,
they didn't push this game out to the right people.
But when your core audience is normies, no disrespect to the normies, but they don't like change, and I think that's what ended up hurting some of the future games in the series was sort of this, they were trying to change it, people didn't really want it, so they're just like, oh, we need to keep our audience, let's go back. And because they did get success with going back, that's why they've now kind of stayed in this spot, despite people being like, oh, this actually kind of sucks now, but they're not listening, or at least at this point. Because again, Call of Duty games take, they're in development for 2 to 3 years usually now, so it may take a while to see what actually comes out of that, because the Call of Duty game this year, Modern Warfare 4, at the time of recording this, is the next Infinity Ward one. So the fact they've stuck with Modern Warfare this many years after the reboot, shows them just playing it safe. But in the 10 years since this game has come out, it has developed a cult following. Like, there have been people
Has it really?
Oh yeah, there are people who will say, you know what, this one was a lot better than people were giving it credit at the time. And I don't know if I was expecting a dumpster fire of a game, or a game that just didn't really hit, because Ghost didn't really hit, but from what I saw of this one, it's like they were committed to the bit this time, and I think that's why it ended up working a lot better. But I know you ended up really liking this one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm honestly, like I said, I played the opening mission like 4 times while I was testing those games, and each time I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I need to play this game at some point. And I like I said, it's probably my favorite Call of Duty, which is a really low bar because I think all the Call of Duty games are the same. Honestly,
The only way you could tell
no,
the only way you could tell the difference if you're like me and playing them all back to back, then you see the differences. But most people don't do that.
Right, and like I'm not a multiplayer person. I'm not a zombies person because zombies are just fucking sweaty. It's way too.
The multiplayer.
You got to lock in for too hard.
Yeah, and the multiplayer, like zombies, to me, it's just like it's a less good horde mode from Gears of War.
Oh, definitely.
Like Gears does that so much better in my the only zombies I got into at the time was the World at War zombies, which was like the very first one, so it was like a new thing, right? And that's when I was like, oh, this is really cool, but I never stuck with it. And the multiplayer, it's a game by game basis. It really is. Some games have better multiplayer than others. And did you mess with the multiplayer in this one at all?
I tried. I couldn't find a single match at all.
Well,
I could not.
Well, thankfully on Xbox there are still plenty of people playing, so I was able to jump in no problem.
Oh, interesting.
And I played a few hours of it, and it's better than Ghost. I thought Ghost multiplayer was trash. Like the maps were way too big. The maps are way too big. The whole level up perk system they had, it was like trying to overhaul everything, but it just didn't work because they didn't want to copy the point system that Treyarch did, when really they should have just done that. But here, the maps are a lot smaller, more contained. You know, the futuristic maps, the jetpack stuff definitely makes them more, like you can get a little bit more vertical in certain spots. And it feels closer to like what Black Ops 3 was trying to do, but with kind of its own flair. And the multiplayer I thought was perfectly fine. Like it wasn't amazing, but it's fine. Like pretty much every Call of Duty, because they're all backwards compatible on Xbox, the ones that did come to it, virtually all of them have people playing on them still to this day. So, but this multiplayer, it's fine. It's so much better than Ghosts. Like Ghosts, I just thought was trash, but this one I thought was handled better, and having the futuristic stuff is great. The weapon I used the most was, I forget its name, but it's the sniper rifle that can also be an assault rifle.
Yeah,
that's my favorite weapon in the game.
That is the one that I carried out for the final mission, because the final mission is like a very long stretch. I started with it and I finished with it. It's a great weapon.
Yeah, fantastic weapon. A lot of the weapons in this game are really cool. Like some of the shotguns I thought were really interesting.
Wasn't there like a shotgun that also turned into like a submachine gun?
Yeah, like a lot of the guns have like different like fire modes, and some of them would have like, you could have a reflex scope and then a more like almost an ACOG scope on the same gun as well, so you could have like different aiming, which is something they've been doing in the last couple games to again try to emphasize the futuristic thing, where you can have two different fire modes on the same gun, which is really cool. But I wish
that submachine gun that turned into two handguns.
The akimbo cool. stuff, yeah. I wish the campaigns leaned into the unique aspects of the guns more, because they really don't. Like half the time you don't notice that unless you pick the gun or you just pick it up and it has a cool mode to it. Like the game never really puts you in situations where it's like, use the akimbo feature on that submachine gun, and they go, what? Like you could split that thing in half, and they go, oh shit, like they never, they don't take the time to be like, look how cool what this gun can do. You only just kind of stumble into that stuff.
Yeah, like you get the gun there, like press Y, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. They don't tell you anything else.
Exactly. So you didn't touch the zombies in this at all.
I didn't touch the zombies.
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't actually have time for that. I finished the game like 2 or 3 days ago. I messaged you immediately after I finished it. I was like, fuck Activision, dude.
Well, I played, for all these, I've been... The problem with the zombies mode and pretty much all of these is that they'll maybe give you the first level, and then you have to buy the season pass to get the rest of them. And the season pass is still like $40, $60. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm not paying that for an old dead game. But I played the first one, which was Zombies in Spaceland, where you're kind of in this weird, like... It's like an amusement park, like movie theater kind of area, and again, it's fine. Like people really get into the zombie stuff because they really try to have like, extra character and story within it. Like apparently in this zombie Land one, just looking at the synopsis of it on Wikipedia, like they're like, oh, Paul Rubens shows up in it, and David Hasselhoff and Seth Green, and it's like, what the? Why are they doing
Paul Rubens and David Hasselhoff?
Yeah,
holy shit! What a combination!
Like they're going this hard on the zombies mode with the lore, and it's like, what are we doing? Got like
it's fucking Space Pee-wee.
Yeah, like even like say in Black Ops 3, I really respected a lot of the environmental design they were doing in the zombies mode in those maps. And it's like, why can't we get this creativity in the fucking campaign? Like, come on.
That's great.
It's just
Paul Rubens.
It's just again, I think they wanted the campaign to be more, but maybe Activision was just like, hey, this isn't why people show up for these games, so like don't get fucking nuts with it. That's probably what it was, which is a shame because yeah, there's a lot of potential here with this one. And yeah, coming out of it, I quite enjoyed this one. Like if I were to tier it, I'd probably put it in the B tier. Like I don't think it's better than any of the like the peak era, which to me is like Modern Warfare 1 to Black Ops 2. That's really the peak era of the series when everybody was playing them, everyone was talking about them.
Yeah.
But I think in this weird mid-period where the experimental era, I'll call it. I think this is definitely I think Advanced Warfare was better. Like I really liked Advanced Warfare's campaign, and just the whole feel of that game felt very fresh compared to what we had before, because it's its own engine, it's a new studio and Sledgehammer, so they're able to put their stamp on making it more unique. I think they handle that better. But I think, yeah, for this, I mean, I wouldn't have hated an Infinite Warfare 2, or if Infinity Ward really went for it after this one, but that wasn't where they decided to go.
If they decide to ever make an Infinity Warfare 2, my only request is that they actually push it into Mass Effect territory. I don't care if they don't have aliens. They don't need to have aliens. They can just have different, colonies and offsets and governments and whatever, fucking humans everywhere. I don't give a shit about having aliens. I want them to commit to way farther in the future, because Advanced Warfare is like maybe warfare in the next 20 to 30 years. And then Infinite Warfare is maybe 100 years. Just push it fucking farther. Commit. Just commit to it. That's all I want. I want to play Call of Duty's version of Mass Effect. It doesn't have to be Star Wars. It can be Mass Effect.
So yeah, letter grade. What would you give this letter grade?
Like I said, it's my favorite. I have to go. Shit, man. Is there anything between A and S?
You can say A+. That's fine.
Like I feel like it's more than an A, but it's not quite an S.
Sure.
Because like I said, it didn't commit. But
or double A.
Yeah.
How about that?
A double A. Yeah, I'll do a double A.
All right. Well, let's go and do it for this a little bit more loose episode of the show, but that's okay. That's just the chemistry me and Chris have. We didn't tangent too much, I don't think.
Right.
So,
It wasn't like the Gears of War episodes where we forgot to talk about Gears of War.
Well, if we do stuff in the future, I'll try to be more concise, I promise.
That's all right. That's what a novel console is.
But yeah, thank you again, Chris, for coming on. I greatly appreciate it. And for those people who are still listening, Chris, why don't you go? I tried giving a bit of a pitch at the start of the episode, but why don't you give your own pitch since we're at the end? Go for it.
Well, I sometimes do a podcast called The Novel Console, where my wife and I talk about books, games, and food that we experienced during the week. We were talking about bringing back the Patreon series where we talk about the Marvel movies, which was a fun time for us, and especially for me hearing her explain the plot of the Marvel movies. But we're definitely going to go back to regular episodes talking about, books, games, and food after we decide exactly what we're doing with life, because right now we're just doing cons and selling on whatnot and all that stuff. But I also do have a business on the side where I buy and sell video games. If you have any video games that you're looking to sell, please email me at consoleandstuff@gmail.com. We'll work something out. I've bought a bunch of stuff from Thrak, from Aaron from Superpod, Jameson from what is Jameson's podcast again?
Bar Silence.
Bar Silence. Yes, I bought from a bunch of people on our community. I pay, I think, pretty well, and then I put everything up on Whatnot starting at $1, so people who want to buy it have a very decent shot of getting it for a very good price. Recently, I sold a bunch of PSP games. I sold, I believe it was one of the Metal Gears for PSP. Might have been Acid 1 or 2, sold for like $10. That's like a $45 game. So it's good for you. It's good for me. Everybody has fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, once again, I'll be sure to put all of those links in the show notes so you can all go and click and subscribe and give him money, and maybe he'll give you some money as well. So
I have a lot of money that I want to give out. I just need games in exchange for them.
Exactly.
Monies.
Thank you all for listening, and I'll be sure to see you all next time. Say bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Bye-bye.